today's 15 on 15, a Huffington Post travel blogger goes into extensive details as to why Aruba is so great. Plus, in our lifestyle segment, the amount of TV and screen time fathers indulge in directly impacts their daughters' consumption of TV and computers. And the logistical issues with the streetcar. We'll talk about problems and solutions coming up later on in the show. 15 on 15 starts right now. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. As you can see, we took 15 on 15 on location today. Reason being, later on in the show, we will be discussing Orangstad's latest streetcar. Now, all the streetcars, of course, and of course, you know that the streetcar passes by right here where I'm sitting. And now we will have all those details for you. We'll talk about the problems and possible solutions for the streetcar as well. But first, your local news. On the Huffington Post travel blog, a detailed piece was written on Aruba. The blogger informs readers on how Eagle Beach is one of the top 10 best beaches in the world. She also explains how much the government has invested on upgrading sites, just like the one that I'm sitting here. And also she reveals that the fact the island has more than 90 nationalities living here is also pointed out. Check it out. Aruba getting some free promotion on Huffington Post travel blog is a major plus. Eagle Beach was given the spotlight in the article. I wouldn't say that it is the best picture of the beach, but it'll do. And blogger Barbara Barton Sloan only has great things to say about it. The writer did her homework as she disclosed the government launching a $350 million project to upgrade sites in Orangstad. The blog goes on to say how the island is a prime spot for destination weddings as well. In other local news, the hospital signed a new agreement to establish a new board. The new board of consultancy allows nurses to have more of a say in the hospital. The signing of the hospital document solidifies the establishment of a new board. The nurses have been requesting for this board for 2 years. The nurses, part of the board, believe they can contribute beyond taking care of patients on a professional level. They believe they can provide insightful input regarding the hospital since they have positive working relationships with patients and workers. The agreement in the signed document entails executive members allowing the board a chance to learn about concerns or claims the hospital may have. The employees now have more say in issues concerning the hospital. The forming of the new board is said to optimize internal operations at the hospital. The hospital is undergoing a drastic transformation. The establishment of the board of consultants goes hand in hand with this transformation of the hospital. From the success of the Beau Barrio, Your Neighborhood project, comes the Pinta Beau Barrio, meaning Paint Your Neighborhood initiative. Take a look. The Beau Barrio team, together with Mike Amon, are the driving forces behind Pinta Beau Barrio. Beau Barrio involved fixing up various neighborhoods on the island. This included developments in the infrastructure in the area along with social changes. Now with Paint Your Neighborhood, the focus is on streets rather than neighborhoods. The team is comprised of volunteers using donated supplies to paint houses on the island. Over the weekend was the first stop, and they began at Kaya Bus Orman. You can expect more streets to be invaded by the Paint Your Neighborhood team. Now, the vision of Europe Meets America is one that the government wishes to realize. However, Parliament member Andine Bicker says there are factors Aruba needs to consider. Parliament member Andine Bicker says there are logistical issues Aruba is leaving out when discussing Europe Meets America. He says the role of Aruba in this plan is not defined. Furthermore, according to him, Colombia does not deal on commercial levels with the United States and is trying to get to the same standards with the European Kingdom. The leader of the political party PDR says there is potential within Europe Meets America. However, whether this is the solution for Aruba's economy still remains a question. Parliament member Bicker advised the government to brainstorm on other initiatives in order to build Aruba's economic pillar. Now, coming up after the break, we'll be here in Orangstad Main Street and we will discuss how much screen time parents indulge in is directly impacting their children. The correlation is actually more relevant between fathers and daughters. We'll have more on that for you. And what do you think of a woman getting down on one knee and proposing to their man? Has the engagement trend shifted? Also, there are some ladies who are actually going under the knife to adjust their foot so it would be less painful to strut in fabulous high heels all day. We will have all those topics and details for you when we come back, so stay with us. Welcome back from the break. We are on Orangestad Main Street, and if you are just joining us, we are delivering 15 on 15 to you on location today because later on in the show we will be discussing possible problems and solutions for the streetcar. But first, on with your lifestyle segment. Parents, beware. The amount of time you spend watching TV and playing on any type of screens influences your kids. In particular, there is a direct link between a father's screen time use to their daughters.
We all know that too much screen time can damage health of adults and children. A study from Bristol University looked at 5 and 6-year-olds. Parents were asked how much time they and their children spent watching TV using a computer, a game console, or smartphone. In families where parents watched more than 2 hours of TV on a weekday, the children were 3.4 times more likely to adopt the same habit if their father exceeded this threshold, and 3.7 times more likely if their mother watched more than 2 hours.
On the weekends, children were nearly 5 times more likely to watch more than 2 hours of TV if their mother or father did the same. Parents' time spent using computers was also linked to child computer use, and this link was also stronger between fathers and daughters than fathers and sons. And moving forward, here's a big question for all the men and women out there. What do you think of the girl proposing to the boy? We might not be as modern as we think when it comes to popping the big question. Despite the fact we are living in the 21st century, women are still taking the traditional route when it comes to proposals. 75% of Americans say it is okay for women to propose, but only 5% of married people say that the woman was the one who actually popped the question. The most surprising result of the study: the younger adults may actually be the most traditional. More than 1/3 of people under the age of 30 in this study said that female proposals were unacceptable. And this younger generation group of young adults was more likely than any other group to say they weren't on board with the role reversal. And moving forward, a majority of you ladies understand the pain of wearing gorgeous, crazy high heels, but would you consider going under the knife to numb that pain in the future? Stilettos are sexy, but painful. A popular trend is rising where women get cosmetic foot surgery to alleviate painful foot maladies and to wear heels more comfortably. Several podiatrists said women are requesting these Cinderella surgeries like crazy. The nips and tucks are done in the hopes of making heels more comfortable, they say. As great as the idea may sound, experts say surgically adjusting the shape of a foot slowly to fit into high heels is unnecessary and dangerous for women with otherwise healthy feet. So in this case, no pain, no gain. We won't be right back. Stay with us. Now, the streetcar has been operating in downtown Orangestad on these rails for a few months now. So a lot of the locals as well as the tourists has been able to experience it, and if not, at least see it. A student who conducted a 3-year research on Main Street Orangestad wrote his graduating thesis on how the area can get more locals and tourists to spend more money. Let's see the investigators' thoughts on the current operation of the streetcar in downtown Orangestad. Kawish Messier wrote an extensive research thesis on Main Street. From the knowledge he gained about downtown, he has come to the opinion that perhaps efforts to revive Orangestad could have started smaller.
One streetcar is $1.5 million. There's 4 streetcars, so $6 million, which equals 10 million florins. Well, that's a lot of money to attract visitors from the cruise area to the main street. I mean, in my opinion, they could start with better signage, more marketing, like electronic coupons, things that don't cost a lot of money but still attract a lot of people.
With that being said, having a streetcar is one of a kind. On paper, this is a great sell to potential visitors. When tourists see the streetcar, the ride sells itself. It captures the attention of everyone. However, the streetcar has become more of a sightsee tour than a transport vehicle.
At this moment, you have, I think, one or two streetcars in operation. We're the only island in the Caribbean who has a streetcar, and we're the only country in the world which has a streetcar which runs on hydro fuel energy. So that's a good thing. So it's good for PR, but like if we look at the return on investment, it's one tram with 3 employees on it, one driver, one on the lower deck and one on the upper deck. And the one on the upper deck is he has a microphone and he's giving a tour. So when the tourists go on to the streetcar, they're attracted as if it's a sightseeing tour.
Kawish says it is irrelevant what he or the critics say or think about the streetcar now. Aruba has a streetcar system. This is a fact. The focus now needs to be what can the government and Main Street merchants do together in order to reap maximum benefits from this investment. The passengers need a reason to get off at the end of Main Street.
Well, now that it is there, I cannot change it. The rails is there, the trams are there, so what can we do to improve it? Well, I think we still need better signage, maybe also a sign in the tram that customers are aware where it's going to stop and that they have to get out of it. And at the tram stations, there should be activities, like something that triggers people to get off the tram. Some kind of decorations where people will get off to take pictures. If you combine it with free internet, they'll start taking pictures, upload it to Facebook. Maybe some refreshment opportunities, local snacks, local made arts and products. And if you have that at the end of the Kaya Grande, people will get off.
There are small initiatives that can be taken to give the streetcar passengers a reason to get off. There can be photo opportunities, or the conductor on the microphone can simply announce that the streetcar will return to pick them up in 15 minutes. So the tourists who are foreign here to the island aren't under the impression that they will have to walk all the way back to the cruise terminal. That is our show for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back here on Friday night starting at 7:15 p.m. with a brand new edition of 15 on 15. And signing off right here in downtown Oranjestad, right beside the streetcar rails, I'm Yentl Lieuw.